Good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much for joining us. We're back live. Can you believe it? Seems like it's been ages, hasn't it? It's been years. Well, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Apologies for the missing weeks, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, it's great to have you all here. Thank you so much. I know it's close to Thanksgiving, so if I do forget to all of our American friends, then happy Thanksgiving for tomorrow. It has been a manic few weeks, which is why I've had to hold on to push these webinars on a little bit. Luckily, we've been doing plenty of signings at the notary, which is fantastic. We've got another 2 weeks of signings, and then hopefully we can start to relax towards Christmas time. So we've got the full program of webinars back starting tonight. This one is going to be a brilliant one with my new neighbor, so to speak. She reminds me almost every day. She's moved in a couple of kilometers away, and I'm going to tell you about that in a second. Next week's webinar, we've got a full program. Go onto our website as usual. Go onto the webinars page. You will see from next week we have buying from abroad. That's going to be that's the new thing. Everybody seems to be doing that at the minute. Everybody seems to be sending me to places or watching some of our new videos on YouTube, which you must remember to subscribe to. And people are buying things without seeing them. Fantastic. I've never known as many people do it. So we're going to be talking about that next week. So whether you're wanting to buy something without coming out at all, without seeing it, nothing, without seeing the area or anything, we're going to tell you how that works. Or maybe you've been out to Abruzzo already, you love the place, or somewhere else in Italy, you love the place, you want to buy something, and you just want somebody to look after it. And we're going to tell you how all of that works next week, because that is the new craze. It's absolutely, I can't believe how many people are doing it. And possibly the next Meet the Home Buyer or the one after will be somebody who bought completely blind, and they're coming out in December time to see it for the first time, but it is happening more and more often. So we've got that. Then we've got Know the Facts. That's the week after, the Thursday, either Wednesday or Thursday. I have had to mingle between Wednesdays and Thursdays, just like this week, because obviously of Thanksgiving, and there's other things happening over the next couple of weeks. So we've got a new Know the Facts where we're going to talk about facts. We're not going to talk about fiction. We're not going to talk about all the rubbish that we hear on social media outlets about all sorts of things. We're talking about buying and restoring in Italy. We're going to talk facts that night. Then we're going to do, the following week is going to be My Abruzzo. That's going to be a new version of My Abruzzo, because I've got some new places that I want to share with you and tell you, if you're thinking about Abruzzo, tell you some of the best places to look at, all that kind of thing. And then just before Christmas, it's an open session, which means we can talk about anything you want. It's entirely up to you. And that will involve drinking a few glasses of wine along the way as well, which really, considering how many Americans we get on here, I probably should have done that as well tonight and brought some wine up, but I've completely forgot. So I'm sure you wouldn't like it if I just popped off now to get some wine. So I will celebrate for you all later, and I will also celebrate tomorrow. If it's the first time on here, thank you so much for joining us. If you will notice at the bottom right of the screen, there is a chat box. Have a quick go on that. I can see there's lots of people in here, but many people don't like to go on the chat box because they think that we can see you and things like that. We can't see anything. So have a go typing on there. You will notice, let us know where you are in the world. You will notice that it doesn't go straight onto the chat box, and that's because Tony, our moderator, will be checking to make sure that none of you are trying to sell us any dodgy tablets or anything like that, or talk about things that's got nothing to do with tonight's subject. So yeah, have a go in that chat box. We'll have a look and see who's in this evening as we move along. And tonight, we're going to introduce you to Barbara from Texas. Now, I have to give credit where it's due, and I'm going to give credit to Barbara because I think it is unbelievable what she's done and what she's achieved. So Barbara has been joining these webinars for a long time. I would say as soon as I started, I would say she started. And she always said, I'm going to find myself a house and I'm going to move out there. So on her own, ladies and gentlemen, on her own, she came actually with somebody to view properties. But she came in April. She found the property that she loved. We've gone through the sales. We've gone through everything else. She's got a visa, and she's moved in 6 months, ladies and gentlemen. In fact, no, less than 6 months. She's done all of that in less than 6 months, and she's living right here now, and that's what's on tonight. We're going to hear her story, and I think it's fantastic. She's done this all on her. She's sat in the house at the moment on her own, looking for some company, which is why I said, well, let's do one of these webinars. So I think it's a great story. Hopefully you're all going to appreciate this as well, because it is a fantastic achievement, and she's done it. She's proved that if you want to change your life, then you can do it. Just put that little bit of effort in and think about it, connect with the right people, and it can happen. Right, okay, let's have a quick look to see who is in tonight. So Tony's saying good evening to everybody. Gerard Bonsoir from Paris, I believe. Ed High from London, Canada. Ali Chow from a train between Brum and Notts. Ruth, hi Ruth, and Nick from rainy Somerset. Tony Patty. Tony, you've bought a house now. You don't need to sit on these things. Hopefully Tony's going to join it. He's the one that I've just been talking about. He knows the town, but never seen the property that he's just bought himself. So we'll get to see whether or not he likes it in about a week or 10 days' time. So I'll either be running in the opposite direction or joining him for a glass of wine. We'll see. We'll keep you posted on that one. Tracy, hello, Tracy from Durham. Josh, hi from Caiazzo. I've never heard of that, Italy. Cheryl and Jeff. Hi to Cheryl and Jeff. That's another couple that's doing a similar sort of thing. Jackie McQueen, hi Jackie from Washington DC, hope you're doing okay, and she's saying hi to Ali and Tracy. These are all people that came on the tour, which is fantastic. Sharon Chow, David and Tony, greetings from Charleston. That's Sharon that was on one of these webinars a month ago, who's moving out here really soon. Then we have Tracy, love to hear from you. Everybody's talking to each other here now. Rick, hey, Tony and Dave from Virginia, USA. Brenda, hi from Maine. Mark from North Carolina, Cynthia and Antonio, hope you two are both doing well. So I can see lots more of you on here. I know a lot of you will probably be wanting to get rid of me and get on with the Thanksgiving preparations and that kind of thing. But yeah, try and stick with us for a while, because Barbara's story is a brilliant one. And we're recording it as well, and it will go on YouTube if she allows me to do it once I've prepared the recording. So that'll be over the next couple of days. Right, so I've given you all the notices. Is there anything else I need to tell you, Tony? Have I forgot something? YouTube. Remember, these sessions that we've booked now for the up and coming webinars, which the last one finishes on the 21st of December. After that, in the new year, we're going to the new format. We're going to be doing lives. We're going to be in a different part, a different studio. It's going to be live on YouTube, live on Facebook, and we're going to be, so you don't have to register, you don't have to do all that kind of thing. It will just pop up, and just, even if you're driving, we'll be there next to you driving. But there's going to be loads of video stuff that's going on there. The YouTube website, we've just did a recording of a house a few weeks ago that's had over 30,000 views, which is fantastic. So, and I was asking people to try and get us to the 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And it is a difficult thing to get these new things going, but we're already up to nearly 2,000, which is absolutely fantastic. So if you haven't joined the YouTube channel, please go on that, and on Facebook as well, because in the new year, all of this will be moving to that. It's going to be much simpler, and we're going to have much more video stuff. We're going to be doing town visits. We're going to be doing a lot more property videos and all the rest of it. So if you haven't done it, please go onto the YouTube channel. You can find links on our website. And join all of those. Right, okay, I'll stop rattling. Tony, if you can clear the board, and let's listen. Let's get Barbara in on here. Now she has, I mean, bless her, she's ordered a webinar, a new webinar and everything. We were racing this afternoon, trying to get all this set up. She ordered everything from Amazon to a new house. So let me bring the sound quality and things like that. May not be fantastic at the minute because we've not had time to prepare, but hey, look what she's done in 6 months. Credit where it's due, folks. Credit. Here she goes. Let's see if we can get her on. Barbara, if you're listening to me, you should get a request coming really soon. And here she is.
Hi, neighbor.
I hear that, ladies and gentlemen, all the time. Hi, neighbor. I'm actually dreaming that thing now. It's just... So this is Barbara. How are you doing, Barbara? Are you okay?
Fine, and yourself?
Oh, very good. Oh, very good. I must say, as happy as you are and as joyful as you are, and I know you've only just moved in, but we need to glamorize that room up a little bit, I think, for next time we do a webinar.
I'm working on it. My boxes are on the way.
I know. In fact, you told me earlier that your boxes your delivery was due tonight. Was it from is it your furniture that's due tonight, or what's due tonight?
No furniture, just little albums, CDs, all my little my little knick-knack stuff that I have.
Oh, okay then. Okay, so if you suddenly need to run off because somebody's knocking at the door, then we'll let you off for 10 minutes. Okay, so Barbara, tell us a little. I know about you now already, but tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
I'm from Fort Worth, Texas. Born and raised there. Lived in the same house for 50 years and decided it was time to make a change. So I made a change, did Dave's webinar for about a year and a half, and decided I'm going to put my big girl panties on and come out here and buy a house. So I did.
Your big girl panties. I do love some of your sayings, I really do. I mean, you always talk about your Texan accent. I mean, I come from a part of the UK, Yorkshire, where people take the mess out of my accent. I absolutely love some of your phrases. I think that, and even my kids have started saying some of them now. So I dread to think, as time passes on and we get to know you even more, who knows what I'm going to be? A Yorkshire, Texas man.
Well, I did teach your relatives the other day a few words. So
yes, they did say, yeah. Incredible. So why Italy then? Why did you choose Italy?
I don't know. I always liked Italy. I've always been back and forth between Italy and Spain, and Spain just wasn't really doing it for me. I thought Italy was a lot prettier, a lot greener, and you can get more bang for your buck here. And I don't know, I just like the people in the area I'm in. Everybody's so nice and so helpful and just willing to take you and pick you up if you don't have a car, and they're just so pleasant to be around and so accommodating. And I've really enjoyed living in this area.
That's good to hear. That's great to hear. So how did you find Abruzzo then? Where did that, have you been, did you come before, or how did you find it?
Actually, I've never heard of Abruzzo until I started doing your webinar, because I was, like everybody else, looking in the Tuscany area. I know everybody dreams about that, but then once I started doing a lot of research about Tuscany and all the tourists that are there and the busloads of people there, and it just wasn't really for me. I'm not really into the tourist towns. So I thought I'd take something different and kind of out of my norm.
Yeah.
And this is really out of my norm. So I really like the area. I've met people already. I met my neighbor and already had drinks with him and coffee, and met the man down the street already who works at the metal shop, and met another girl named Christine who's really nice. So I'm just meeting all kinds of people, and of course you're hooking me up with all the people I need to know to get things, so that's even better.
Super. So obviously, so you were watching the webinars, and which you did right from the beginning, I think, didn't you? I was, in fact, I began to see your name so often on the webinar. I think became, but in fact, it's really weird now. Actually, having you on here, it's really strange. So you thought about Abruzzo after you saw the webinars and all the rest of it. Now you came out, if I remember right, was it April when you came?
Yes, we came April, right after Easter.
Yeah. So your spec, what were you looking for at that time? What did you send through to me? What was the plan as far as your viewings were concerned? What did you want to see? What type of houses?
Well, I wanted to see different, because I know what you all call townhouses are different from what we call townhouses in the United States. So I wanted to see about living in a town or living out of a town. I watch a lot of House Hunters International, and everybody, always talks about living in a town, walking out their door to get coffee and croissants and all that all day long. But then once I got into the larger towns that you took me to, I saw the crowds and the people, and I thought, this is not really what I want to do. I'm not a go out and get coffee person every day thing. So I thought I'd try something out in the countryside, which is not really out in the countryside. So not what I'm used to, because in Texas, when you say countryside, you're 45 minutes away from anything. Here, right, you're 10 minutes. So yeah, a whole big difference.
Yeah, no, definitely. And that again is a big thing. Lots of people say that when I go looking for properties, the countryside is great, but as you say, if you're miles and miles and miles away from anything, then it can be a little bit. There is a huge difference, isn't there, for people that are not used to that, being out in the sticks. I mean, when we see pictures of your house later, you're in incredible countryside, but as you say, you're 5-10 minutes away from different towns, aren't you, and things.
Yes, exactly. And a lot of people that I watch, Place in the Sun or any of these shopping home places, a lot of people get on there and say, well, I don't want to live next to anybody, or there's someone across the street. Oh, no, that's too close. And I'm wondering, what are you doing that? You don't want neighbors. I mean, you've got to have some neighbors. I mean, if you need help with something, you're going to be out in the middle of nothing with nobody, and then what happens?
Yeah, definitely. And as the photographs of your property show, you don't have to be well into the countryside to enjoy unbelievable scenery, and we'll see that in a second. So the great thing about when you came out, obviously, you did have this. You basically said, "Let's see a little bit of everything." So I like to show people on here that some of the properties that you saw before we got to yours. So we've picked 3 out. The first one is no longer for sale because we've sold it. But this one was. I'm going to share my screen, so hopefully this will work. This is where, if things are going to go wrong, this is where it usually goes wrong. But let's try and share the screen. So the first property, because obviously we'd had the discussion about countryside and all that kind of thing. So I took you straight to see an apartment in the middle of a fantastic place called Sulmona, which is an incredible place. But we really wanted to test the boundaries of what you were looking for. And this was the place, and it was an incredible place, wasn't it? Tell people about this place as I'm flicking through the photographs.
It's a beautiful place, lovely scenery. You can't beat the views. I really liked it. It was just a little too small for me, but I did like it, and I did enjoy it. But it was just, I don't know, it was one of those towns that had too many people in it, too crowded, and
yeah,
I don't know. It didn't fit me, but I really did like the place. It was really well done, put together, and the lady that I met that owned it, she was great. She took me by the hand and said, "You got to see this, you got to see that," and it just took me away from you. And she was like, "Oh no, this is that." But I really did like it. It was a really beautiful home, and it did have a lot of nice features and good scenery in it.
Yeah, I think the fact that you were moving out here and wanted a little bit more space, obviously, but it was good to see this kind of thing, wasn't it? Because at the end of the day, that gave you, it helped you pinpoint exactly what you wanted, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And you look at the pictures, but once you get into the place, that's what gives you justifies what it is and how it looks, and you get a better feel for it when you're there. And
yeah.
I know you've got people that are bought without sight and seeing and are coming out, but I'm not that kind of person. I've got to walk into a place and I've got to feel it. And if I don't feel it, I'm not really going to go before it.
Yeah. No, I think if you're going to move out here, I think that's a different thing. If somebody's buying, maybe, I mean, a lot of the people that are buying from that without seeing it, it's usually sort of the budget end properties. I'm saying budget end, it's still a lot of money. But yeah, I think if it's a forever home, you do need to come. But the great thing was, again, you stayed open-minded, which is what we speak about a lot on here. And we went straight for the town, for the bigger town. As you said, I mean, Sulmona is an incredible place, but not for you to live in. It's a place that you will go to visit. And I know you keep mentioning Christmas markets you want to go to. Sulmona is the king of markets and things like that. So it is it's just great that you looked at those things and thought, okay, superb place, but just not for me. I couldn't live here, and it's so important. So after that one, we saw another couple around sort of that side. Then we decided to come around my side of the mountain because I had a few detached properties. So we went from a smaller apartment, which was one we've just seen, and we went on to this one, which was the Tommy opposite, as I like to call it, which was a huge, once I can share my screen again, here we go, was a huge detached property. Bear with me 1 second, I am finding it. It is here, this one, I think, yes, here it is. Here we go. So So this was the complete opposite to what we'd just seen, especially in terms of space. Do you remember this one? What did you think of this one?
I liked it. It was a really nice place. It was all done up, very modern, had a nice view, but it was just a little too big for me. It was 3 stories, and it was a little too big for me. And I liked the garage. It was huge. Who doesn't like a bathroom and a shower in your garage? But, you know, it was just a little too big for me. And I wanted to look at something that not as so many stairs. I really at first didn't want stairs. I wanted to be all same level, but a lot of places, as you look at them, they do have stairs because they're double leveled homes, a lot of them. But I did like it. It was a really nice place, but it was too big for me.
Yeah, I think, I mean, the fact that you live in sort of, you're here on your own, but having said that, you've got a good sized place now, but this one is super huge, isn't it? That's on here. Anybody that's looking at this, this is still on the website at 169. It's in a great place, just outside the town of Ardkey, but it is a very large property. But if you've got a big family, then this could be the place. Beautiful views as well, looking towards the mountains. So we went then from the extreme of something. But I remember when we went to that property that you did like the feel of being just outside of town. That one as well was 5-10 minutes outside the town as well, wasn't it? So obviously we saw a few others. Let me just go to another one that we saw that's very, very good. We headed towards Palumbara, where you actually chose in the end. We saw this property, which, bear with me 1 second again, and I'll find it. I could have done with this being a little bit smoother, but there you go. Is it this one? Oh, here we go. So this one's just down the road from where you actually chose, and I know you really liked this one, didn't you? This you were torn between these, I think.
It's a very beautiful property. I like the stonework. I like everything about it. It's really done up nicely inside. And it's one of those properties you can just walk right in and move right in. You don't have to do anything to it. And it's got good land. It's got good bones. It really does. It has a lot of good bones. And whoever chooses this house would be very happy with it, because look at the view. It's just fabulous too.
Yeah. I mean, this is very similar to the view from yours, isn't it? It's just further along the road, really.
Right.
So, and as you say, inside, downstairs, if you remember, there were the cantinas downstairs as well that could have been transformed into rooms. And then you had the habitable house on the top 2 floors. So what was it? I mean, obviously you were torn between the two. We're going to show people the one that you chose. While I'll keep on talking while I'm showing the photographs. That's Palumbaro. In the distance there on the left-hand side of the picture. I think in the end, the one that you decided to go to had more land. You know, was that the deciding factor, or was it just, again, a feeling?
It was mostly the feeling. It's one of those feelings that, like this house, it's one of those you can just walk in, feel like you're already home, put your keys down and just say, I'm home. I feel good. This is my house. And but the house that I did choose, I liked it because it had olive trees, and I like to brag to people who have olive garden, olive grove. But no, I really did like this house. It was between this house and the one I chose, and it was a hard decision. It really was. So it's a beautiful stone house. It really is.
No, it is. It is a fantastic one. And again, the one that you chose, you know, I mean, it's like many houses that we sell. It hadn't made it on the net. It was brand new, wasn't it? It was. We'd not put it on the site. We'd just got the keys few days beforehand, and yeah. So, but when you mentioned that you've got an olive garden, I think you have slightly more than that.
I've got a big grove. I think I've got like 200 olive trees or something like that. In a nice valley.
Yeah, all on a hill that's like this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I did walk the hill, and whew, it is quite the steep hill.
So the great thing, again, a bit like anybody else that I take round, it's always nice to see people's reactions when you get in the house. And I think, I mean, obviously we knew each other a little bit through the webinars and that kind of thing, but it seemed to be, for the first time, usually, I mean, your place, I'm going to show photographs in a second, is in a stunning location with amazing views, but it seemed to be more when we got inside that it seemed to speak to you. And sorry, before you answer that, Tony's just saying, give the price of the stone house. I forgot about that. So everybody knows, I always forget the important bits of trying to sell property. I'm only joking. So yeah, that's on for 149,000, the stone property. But you know, obviously you loved the area, you loved the house and the setting of the house that you chose, but it seemed to be when you got inside where, I don't know, you tell me what happened. It just...
Well, you know, when you first go up to it, it's not what you think. It's you're kind of like, It kind of sits down. You've got the road in front of you, but then you come inside and you're like, wow, it's really nice. It's set up really nice. I like the style of the house, the way it is.
I'm sure. Just sorry to interrupt. This is the property. I mean, obviously, like you said, the back of the property, which is to the right of this picture, is where the road is, and as you say, from the road, it doesn't really look like much, does it? To be fair, you know, I'm sure you don't mind me saying that, but it is a stunning place. So carry on. Sorry, you can. I'll flick through some pictures as you're talking.
It's really different when you go in it, and I felt really comfortable in it, and because it was already furnished, and it already had everything laid out, and it's one of those houses you just walk in and you feel comfortable. You can set your keys in. It's like, I'm home. This is it. And that's how I felt about it. And when my sister and my friend came with me in October to help move in, they were kind of, Well, my friend Brett, he saw it in April when he came out to tour it, and he really liked it too. He felt comfortable in it. And then when my sister came out, she was like, wow, I really like this place. It's not what you see from the street, but once you get in it, it's totally different.
Yeah.
And it's got, even though it's 2 levels, it's okay. I mean, I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, and people are going to see from this now that it's actually got a couple of kitchens. This is more of a utility type kitchen. Yeah, explain, because it was 2 houses, wasn't it, originally?
Right. It was 2 houses, 2 levels, but I've changed it up a little bit, and I'm using it as my washroom now. I put a dryer in it. Yes. In the United States, I have to have a dryer.
Yeah, in this part. I mean, these are obviously the photographs when the old owners had it. You're about to make some changes, but as you say, this is more of a was the kitchen in one of the houses, if you like. But this is not your main kitchen, is it?
No.
But the nice thing is as well, some of the features that were kept. I don't know if people can see that on the left-hand side, the way the old doors have been kept and things like that. It did have a really nice feeling to it, didn't it?
Yeah, and I liked it because you've got a little new with a little old, and I like the old doors that they've kept with it, and they've really did a nice job with it, how they put it together.
Yeah.
So I don't know, I had a good feeling to it, really did. And I liked it because also in the first floor you have a bathroom like the one you're showing. So, you know, if you have guests or if you're sitting around watching TV, you can go to the bathroom without having to walk up and down the stairs all the time.
Yeah. And the other amazing thing about this place is the incredible views again. I mean, just looking outside of that window that people can see there, and you've got a terrace out there as well, haven't you? The views are just outstanding, aren't they?
Yes, every morning when I sit and eat breakfast there, I'm just like, wow, I like this. I like the view, and I like it so green, and then you can see when the mountains start to get the snow caps on them, and it's I really enjoyed the view a lot. And I like it too because it's got a little dipping pool in it in the back, so that's going to be nice in the summertime.
Definitely. So as you said, it was habitable, but you are going to be doing sort of bits of work. But I mean, you managed to move straight in, haven't you? Really, it's not been a house that you had to wait to get in there. You've just sort of you just living the dream now and looking at this every morning.
Yeah, just walk. We just walked in, and I walk in, and it's just I put my keys down, and it was like, okay, I'm home. I don't have to do anything. I'm already settled and comfortable in it.
So Mark is asking where is the house and the nearby town. So really, I mean, the town where you are is the same where I'm in Palombaro, but you're outside of sort of 5 minute drive. But then you're also very close to Casoli, Fara San Martino, Guardiagrel. Again, like most of the properties that are on our site, you're within striking distance of many towns, and half an hour to the beach and 45 minutes up to ski resorts. So you've got a bit of everything, haven't you? Really, where you
Yeah,
are.
I've got two grocery stores that are 9 minutes away, and electronics store that's 9 minutes away. Everything is so close and easy to get to. So
Yeah.
I really like that. That's what I like.
And now you've got your car. Now you've got your wheels as well. I've noticed a lot of the locals are leaving their cars in the garage.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing a rental right now, and thank you for introducing me to Pierre. Um, he has done a really good job trying to broker me a car, so I have to do a rental for a while. It's hard to get cars right now because of the chip, but he did order me a car, and so I'll be getting a new car in June, which I'm really excited about.
Brilliant, brilliant. So people have seen your choice, have seen everything else. So let's talk about what happened after that, because I mean, it was quite a big thing when you said I want to be. I remember it now, and you said I want to be out there by October. So May, I think it was when we when you got the offer and everything was, because your house, you didn't mind me saying to everybody, I already asked you before, your property was listed at 129. You made an offer for the property, you got the property, and then you said to me, I would like to be in by October. So now we're talking May. So fair enough, 5 months. I thought, to get the document, that gives us plenty of time. But the fact that you wanted to actually move here meant as well that you had to sort out your visa and everything else that goes with it coming from the US to here. So that was quite a big. When you said that, I thought this is just not going to happen.
Yep, I was determined, and I did it.
And what date was it when you actually hit the shores of Italy?
October the 27th.
So you really did. I don't know why I thought it was in November. So you really did it then in October, which is absolutely. I mean, again, we'll go into details about the story, but I mean, originally you gave power of attorney to me, didn't you? I think that was the only stressful bit, which we'll get on shortly, was the power of attorney part. And I just thought, there's no way you're going to be coming out here. Even to the point where we had a conversation, 2 weeks before we're going to sign, less than 2 weeks, and you'd only just put your application in for your visa, hadn't you?
Yes, and I was very lucky because I made some mistakes, but then I got it corrected, and I got my visa sent off, and they got it during a holiday, but I don't know, but by luck, they looked at it right away and started working on it. So it only took about a week and a half to get it done.
I mean, again, I remember the conversation, because if I remember, you were flying out on was it a Wednesday? I think you were flying out.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke the Monday before then, so 10 days. I think they just acknowledged that you'd got your application, and I thought to myself, this lady is absolutely. I knew you were crazy anyway, but when you said that, I remember saying to you, "Are you sure can you get a refund on these?" Because they got your passport, they got everything, and you were due to fly out on that Wednesday, and you were so sure you were going to get it. But obviously, how were you so sure? Because you couldn't speak to anybody, you couldn't do anything. Was it just let's just see what happens?
Well, I just got lucky that they looked at my paperwork right away, and I had all the documentation that they needed. They needed to see a couple of things they re-asked about because I didn't do it the right way. I'm real leery about putting my account number and bank stuff out to strangers. Yeah. And that was a couple of things I didn't do. I kind of marked out my account numbers, and they're like, no, we have to see the account numbers acknowledged with your name and address. So, I mean, as soon as I got emails from them, I was right at it. I didn't mess around, and I got all the paperwork to them within 30 minutes of them sending me an email. And I guess they thought, well, she's pretty darn determined to get out there, so we're going to get her out there. And especially since you have to buy your airfare before you apply for your visa, and that's the scary part.
Yeah.
So they were really good to me, and I got them on a Friday, and we left on a Wednesday.
Yeah, I remember it well because I still couldn't. I mean, we'll talk in a while about what happened with the power of attorney and everything, but I just remember having that conversation the Friday before you were due to come out on the Wednesday, and we were due to sign. The power of attorney had not come, and I just remember thinking, "There's no way she could consider coming out for the." But there you were, Wednesday, asking me to let you in. So absolutely unbelievable. So Mike's saying, what type of visa did you get? Was it the elective visa?
I got the retirement visa, but there's really not a retirement visa. It's just the regular visa form, and at the bottom it asks you your reason for moving, and I put at the bottom retiring to Italy, and just left it at that, and so they accepted it.
So I think it was the elective visa residence, that wasn't it? The one that you use to retire.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, it just happened so quick, as you say, and some of the some of the requirements that they ask to give visas. I mean, you just put projected income in there, didn't you? You just put a bit of you just threw everything at them.
Every bank account that all my bank accounts, all my investment accounts, even because I signed up with Currency Direct, so I can move money back and forth from the United States to Italy, which they give you a good euro rate. And I sent all that to them and just laid it all out. And this is all my paperwork. Yeah. And since I was coming as a retiree, they want to see if you're getting a pension, your Social Security. And I'm not taking Social Security yet because of the way the United States have changed your age for how much you're going to get when you get a certain age. So United States will send you a schedule out telling you at what age you'll get this and this. And what I did was send the schedule in and put a sticky note on it and said, I am not taking Social Security yet. I am going to wait a little longer to closer to 67 when I want to take my full benefit. And they said, okay. Apparently they didn't mind it. So
that's amazing, considering how strict they were, certainly pre-COVID. You know, people had to go in for interviews. They had to do all sorts of things. People waited months and months and months. Whereas you didn't have to be interviewed or anything, did you? You just sent everything in and off you went.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, rewinding a little bit, once you found the property that you loved, you went back to the States. You made an offer to the owners. The owners accepted it. We did then a compromesso that the contract to bind everything together. We sent that off to the tax office because you needed that to be stamped to get ready for your visa. I mean, that was back in, when did we do the compromesso? Was it June, July time? Somewhere around about then. But then you held on to it because I was thinking, you should be putting that in now. You should be given that I know we spent a fortune with DHL going backwards and forwards with the stamps and everything else. So, once you'd got that, in terms of what other people had said they had to put in to get their visa applications sort of accepted, you seem to, I know you put a lot in, but I don't know, the projections and everything else. What do you think it was? Maybe the fact that you'd pretty much bought a house that maybe swung it, or
they saw that I was leaving and already had my ticket to leave, and they're like, hopefully they were thinking, oh, I'm not going to make her have to go buy a new ticket or anything. She's already bought her ticket. Let's let her go.
I think it's amazing, and hopefully that gives hope as well for people that's watching this from the US that they want to do something. Unfortunately, you do have to put financial commitment in. You did have to put a deposit on the house, and it was quite a decent sized deposit as well. So it's a lot to lose. I know you said that you would still go ahead and buy the house, and you would just keep trying until you got out here. But luckily, everything sort of went perfect, didn't it? Really?
Yeah, except for getting the signature through the State Department on Slovana to be my power of attorney.
Yeah.
That is a little tricky. I waited too long to send that off, and then I didn't send the right forms because of the other person I, had to get to help me with it. And that was, if you're going to do a power of attorney with you guys and you're going to have to go through the State Department, don't do it for 2 weeks. I would say at least start getting it out there in a month in advance, because they say, well, send it next day. Just because you send it next day doesn't mean they're going to look at it the next day. They're going to look as how they first come, first see. And when I talked to the girl at the State Department, because I needed to get my papers back that I made the mistake on, she said they get about 1,000 requests a day. So they, if you don't fill out the paperwork right, they will send it right back to you, and it takes just as much time. So if you're going to have to do a power of attorney and go through the State Department, I would say start that in a month in advance.
Yeah, that was that was the part that held things. Certainly held the purchase, because you were giving us the power of attorney to sort it out before you came. That was the idea, wasn't it? But the power of attorney just didn't arrive at all. Usually, I mean, we do lots by power of attorney now, and they used to be pretty good. But yeah, they seem to be taking different areas, different states in the US. They seem to have be delayed in some way. There seems to be a lot of things going off at the minute. I think everybody must be wanting to move out here.
Exactly. And I think it was also election time too. So
yeah, possibly that as well. But so yeah, I mean, so everything, as you said, how did you feel when you let? And I know we've been in contact all the time, and we've done everything with you. So but how did you actually feel once you'd left and thought, right, okay, I've met Dave once in person. I'm going to give him power of attorney. We're going to be sending quite a lot of money to wherever Dave tells me to send it. How did you feel? I mean, I ask a lot of people this, but how did you feel about it all? Were you nervous? How did you? You can sing our praises as well if you like. We don't mind that one. How did you feel?
I felt very comfortable with it, because when I first started deciding that I wanted to do this move and change of life, I'm a big research person, and I've got to research it. And if I can't find it and I'm not comfortable with it, I'm not doing it. And so I did a webinar with another big company that was out of the UK, and they were just a little too corporate for me. And they were just, well, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do this. And then when they called me on the phone, they were telling me, oh, your fees could be $10,000, $20,000. I'm like, no, I don't think so. And then when I rolled into your web page and started doing your webinar, you're more laid back, easygoing. You're not corporate, and you're not saying, well, you need a lawyer, so you're going to have to spend $10,000 for him, or you're going to need this guy, and you're not going to need. You were more like, well, this is my lawyer. This is how we do it, and you were more laid back and not pushy and pressury. And when we came out in April to meet you and finally doing the house hunt, it was very laid back, and I liked your personality, actually. I mean, I like someone who's more laid back like I am, and not so pushy and pressury, and I didn't feel pressured.
But it is still a big, I mean, I always appreciate when people talk like that. Obviously, it's a big thing, big responsibility for us as well, because I always think to myself, would I do it? And my God, I don't know what type of person I'd have to meet to have that kind of trust. So it is really nice. It's the best part of our job between me and my wife is when people do put their trust on us, because I know it's a huge thing. But putting all that to one side, you didn't feel that, when I was sort of sending you emails and well, I mean, we did so much by WhatsApp. If we look at our WhatsApp history, we've got I don't know how many millions of messages. So sometimes it was vocal messages just because of the time differences. So at no point you thought, should I maybe have done this a little bit different, or especially when the deposits are flying out and I'm saying, Barbara, you need to send this much money here and this much money there. you were relaxed about it? It's something you just thought.
I felt really relaxed about it because, like I said, you're a very laid back and very honest person. I felt I'm one of these people who can meet somebody, and if I meet them and I don't get a good vibe from them, then I'm not going to like the person at all. And I really got a good vibe with you and everything, and I felt comfortable knowing that, you're not going to take my money and head off to Mallorca somewhere and buy a beachfront property.
Well,
so I felt comfortable with it.
I'll stop talking about this, otherwise my head won't be able to fit on the screen. Even Cheryl has wrote in the box saying, "Totally agree, Barbara. He's the best." Because Cheryl's buying a property that she's not even seen and everything else. And no, it is great when people. So I'll stop bragging off about our services now.
Actually, you got a good service because I do want to promote you because you do have a good service, and I do promote you a lot through the Abruzzo or the expat through Facebook, because a lot of people come out here and they just come out here, and then they're like, oh, I can't get this, I can't get that, and I'm not that kind of person. I have to know everything. Like I said, I am a big researcher, and I researched everything before I even made the decision. And I wanted to make sure that I got something that was going to help me. And you do offer a package that I call "I want to hold your hand all the way through" package, because that's what I want. I don't want to come out here and buy property and then just be left out in the cold and wonder, how do I get this? How do I do this? And it's because it's a lot of steps you have to go through. And that's what I needed my hand held through. So thank you, neighbor.
And then now, obviously, my wife's getting all the neighbor messages as well.
Exactly.
So you're going to be going through the now, actually, because obviously you've got your visa, but there's more to it now, isn't there? We now have to sort out your residency and everything else. But that process has already started now, hasn't it? You're already starting to go down the line of that. So it'll be visiting police stations and fingerprints before you even before you know it. So,
but I do want to say one thing though, and I found this out a little too late. Once you start getting you start going through the process of the residency, you're going to have your financials. So be sure to bring some financials with you. And a lot of the United States, they don't, because you're going to have your social security number, and you don't get those on a lot of your paperwork or through your bank or anything like that. So remember to bring something with your social security number, and bring 2 extra photos for your residency, like your passport pictures, because those are the things I didn't do and I'm working on right now. So bring those along.
So the paperwork aside, then everything did run smooth, other than that, as we said, the power of attorney. And in the end, obviously I was supposed to be signing for you. We didn't get that far because the power of attorney didn't come. Luckily, the owners agreed to let you stay in the property, which was great.
Which was really nice.
Considering you turned up on the Wednesday with a full car saying, "Where am I going to sleep?"
And then the car went away, and I was like, I'm not going to have a ride for a while.
So putting all that to one side, the actual reality then, when you, because obviously you came out here with your sister, and you came out with Brett as well, and they stayed, how long was it, for a week or so?
A week. Mm-hmm.
So obviously you took every wrong turn possible and went into the mountains and all over the place, and in one evening, if I remember rightly, you went 2 hours in the wrong direction. I think a couple. So, but putting all that,
it was a nice view though. We got to see the sea. So,
but putting all that to one side, and now sort of looking forward. Obviously tomorrow is a huge day for Thanksgiving and the rest of it. This one's going to be a little bit different for you, isn't it? Tomorrow. How do you feel about it all now? Now you're here and living here.
I'll miss my family, but I get over it. So I look at the view and I'm getting over it. So.
I suppose it takes a while to get settled in and all the rest of it. And you've been here now, 3 weeks? So you're still sort of finding your feet. And as you say, you've been without a car, haven't you, for a couple of weeks?
Yeah, and then your friend Pierre Paulo hooked me up with a car, and so I got out and drove on my own and went to the grocery store and went into Cassoulet and I got my cell phone and had the guys help me get it together and bought a printer and you know, poor Amazon, but but we did go while Brad and my sister were here, Brenda. We went to Euronics and bought a lot of my things that I needed before they left. But
You mean
yeah,
you bought things you needed, like an enormous television, like the week I've never
yeah,
seen.
I needed a 63-inch TV. That's what I need.
That was the first on the list.
Yes, exactly. No, the dryer was the first on the list.
Superb, superb. So you're looking forward to life here then, and getting on with things, so to speak.
Yeah,
So
I've really enjoyed it, and I mean, I speak to my family almost every day through WhatsApp, and I've just met so many nice people already, and the older gentleman who's 92 years old has already came over, and I've gone to have coffee and cake with them. And when he turned 92 last Sunday, he brought me a piece of cake and some snacks. So really nice.
superb. No, it's great to hear that you're settling in and all the rest of it. That's the important thing. So how do you think? So now looking back, when you were thinking, my dream is to move there, move to Italy, and you've done it, and everything you thought about moving here, the kind of lifestyle you thought you'd have, the kind of place that you thought you'd be in, and all the rest of it. Would you say you've got that, or would you say it's completely different to what you thought? But this is it. Where are you on that one? Would you say?
I've got what I wanted. I got exactly what I was looking for, what I want, and I don't know. I really enjoyed it. I know a lot of people kind of thought I was nuts moving out here alone by myself and buying such a big place with a big olive grove, but I've really liked it, and I'm sorry, I don't miss Texas that much anymore.
Oh well, that's good to hear. That's good to hear. That's not pulling Texas down, but it's good to hear that you're all settling.
Mhm.
Okay, well, what else can we say? You did it. 6 months in, you've done absolutely everything, and hopefully people are going to be. If anybody's got any questions for Barbara, please let me know now, because I'm going to be switching off her camera really soon. Let's just see. Cheryl saying, amazing story, Barbara. Love your positivity. We look forward to meeting you one day in the future in Abruzzo. So yeah, that would be really nice. I can see a couple of people are typing, so I'll just keep you talking just for a bit longer, just before you disappear. So Christmas and that sort of thing. Are you planning on going back to US? Anybody coming out, or is there what's the plan?
No, I was going to go. I have a niece that lives in Germany, and I was going to go to Munich to visit them. But the problem is, I can't find a train that gets back in the daylight. And
Right.
I'm not really comfortable coming home at night by myself in the dark, since I'm not used to the mountains. And if it snows, I don't want to be stuck. So I think I'll just stay here and just enjoy myself.
No, you should be absolutely fine. But the unbelievable thing is that you've moved from one side of the world to the other. You've done all of that, but you're scared to drive 45 minutes down the road,
At night.
or you're worried about driving 45 minutes at night, even though you've moved here on your own, 6 months in, changed your life, done everything else, but that little drive is the thing that's concerning you.
Yeah, I've got to get used to everything first, all my area. But night driving here is going to be a little nerve wracking for me at first.
It just takes time, doesn't it? Once you get used to the roads and everything else, it's like anything else. You'll be gone.
Right.
One is just saying, Dave, have you mentioned about that Barbara has to have a welcome barbecue? Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we do need to have a welcome barbecue as well. When we say welcome barbecue, it's not us that puts it on; it's you that has to put it on and invite all of us. So that's how
I'm planning to buy a smoker since I'm
Right.
in Texas. I'm going to buy a smoker. My brother-in-law Johnny hooked me up with the Texas Q book on different barbecue recipes. So I'm going to get me a smoker in the spring, and then I'm going to go to the butcher around the corner and show him what I want cut and see if he can do it. And then I'm going to have some, then I'm going to smoke me some meat.
Superb, superb. Deborah's just PM'd on a private message just to ask who you are you shipping things out from Texas, and which company have you decided to use?
Well, I researched a bunch of companies because a lot of people were talking about shipmybags.com, and I did some other research on some different companies. And since I'm not bringing furniture because I bought all the furniture in the house. It's mostly my little knickknacks and collectibles and albums and stuff. And so I've got 30 boxes coming its way. And by luck, there is a company that is just a small mom and pop company that's in my local area. And I went in there to buy a box, and he told me they do shipping. And so I shipped through this company in my area, and he did all of the work. And that was one thing, because I was reading horror stories about people not putting all the labels and then writing all the papers for custom. And because customs do ask a lot of questions. Ask Silvana. He's such a good relief to have someone in my local area that I could use. And he picked up all my stuff, took them to his shop, and packed up. I have a painting that I want. I'm shipping also. So he packed it up, and he filled out all the custom forms. He filled out all the labels, and he talked a lot between him and customs, and then customs started getting in touch with me, and then I had Savannah help me out because there was a little confusion on phone numbers and stuff. But I got my last final paper from customs the other day, and filled out what they asked me, signed it, and so they'll be here tomorrow, my boxes.
Superb. So Silvana, just so everybody knows, is my wife. We run this business together, so that she's helping Barbara at the minute. And another quick plug: you mentioned Currencies Direct. Obviously, everything went great with them as well. David Nixon's our guy there that comes on these webinars. So anybody that's interested in the foreign exchange stuff, please get in touch, and I'll put you in touch with a brilliant person, and they can help out with that as well.
They're really easy to work with. Very nice.
Yeah, well, it turned out really well, didn't it? It was quite smooth when we were in the notary's office. Martin has just PM'd as well, just to say, with regards to driving license, what are you doing about that?
Well, before I came out here in April, I already started reading up on it because I found it on the internet, the English version, because one of your other house hunters, Craig and Lexi, he got a big Italian version. And so I ordered it off Amazon, and of course it doesn't come in English. So I did some search on the internet, and I found it on the internet. So before I came out in April, I went ahead and started reading over it and getting familiarized with the signs and whatnot. And I haven't been keeping up with it as much, but I have been doing a self-test, and then your daughter is going to be nice enough to help me with the wording and getting everything, because they don't do it in English. So she's going to help me with that.
Excellent. So it's all go. You've got lots of work to do. And then you've got 200 olive trees to look after as well.
Luckily, there's a nice man across the street who's going to come over and work the land for me.
Superb. Well, Jack is saying thank you, Barbara, and congratulations. I'm sure everybody else wants to say congratulations. So,
thank you.
What can I say? Thank you so much for being on here. It seems weird now to say goodbye to you, and then I'll no doubt hear from you tomorrow or see you at some point anyway. So, thank you so much for doing this, and we'll have to have another catch up on here in 6 months or so, or when it gets closer to doing your driving test, maybe. That will be good. Okay then, Barbara. Well, thank you so much, and enjoy your different Thanksgiving Day tomorrow. I'm sure you'll find time for a little glass of something. If I'm passing by, we may just stop and have a quick drink just to celebrate. So
I still have a bottle of champagne, and Christine also brought me a bottle of wine, so I've got I need help on 2 bottles.
Oh, well, there you go. We may need a few more if I'm coming around, but we'll start with that. So Brenda's saying, grazie mille and congratulations. Ali's saying, thanks for sharing your story, Barbara. And there's a few more people typing. So thank you so much, Barbara. Really, really, really. Rick saying, congratulations. Hope to join you all before too long. So yeah, I think lots of people want to be in your shoes, and definitely you've got to be an inspiration to do it in that short time and on your own. I still think it's fantastic. So
Yeah.
brilliant. Well, thank you so much, Barbara, for being on here, and I will let you go now and leave you in peace, and we'll no doubt speak to you tomorrow. Thanks.
Good night, neighbor.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That's scary now. That really is. Speak to you soon. Good to see you. Thanks. Okay, folks. Well, there you go. What a story! No, it is a brilliant story. She's a great person, and I think what she's done, the way she went about doing it, was she did it right from the very beginning. Came with an open mind, looked around, fell in love with the place, found her place, did the looking on the internet and everything else, and sort of did her what's the word? Studied everything. I can't think of my English words now. She did it the right way, and look what happens. She's out here in such a short amount of time. And I think the visa thing at the minute is unbelievable. There's something that's different to before. Now, whether it's because after Brexit, obviously Brits are not coming out as much, whether the government have noticed there's not as, because there were lots of Brits moving out here before Brexit. So maybe they're giving more of a green light to people coming from the US. Who knows? So if you're thinking about coming over and applying for your residency visa and things like that, hopefully it will go as smooth as you, because it really did happen so quick. She sent it all last minute, and it was literally, how she said, 10 days before, and then she was here. So hopefully that will give the rest of you a push to do this as well. Okay, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining us wherever you are, and everybody in the US. Have a great Thanksgiving tomorrow. I really hope you have a good time. I would love to experience a Thanksgiving celebration sometimes. So hopefully we'll do that with some of you in the future. But have a great one. And for everybody else around the world, then have a great evening. And don't forget, we're back next Thursday. Next Thursday, we're talking about buying from a distance, buying from abroad. So that's whether you're thinking about buying something blind, whether you've seen something and just think, Dave, here you go, sort it out for me. I need to go back to where I'm going. Whatever you're thinking on that side, then join next week, because that's going to be a really, really, really good one. Okay, guys, thank you so much. We'll see you next week, and I'll be in touch by email as well really, really soon.